The movie begins on a faraway planet, Krypton, where Alara Zor-El competes with her only daughter Kara Zor-El in a running match. Kara was leading early on, but Alara tricks her and takes the lead. Thinking on her feet, Kara cuts through the forest and wins the match. Out of nowhere, the red sun appears on Krypton, where hundreds of meteors fall to the ground and burn the land mass. Alara claims that Jor-El had predicted this, but the council refused to act on it. Since then, she and Jor-El had been secretly working on hypersleep escape pods. She later discovers that most escape pods failed to activate, leaving only one pod usable, to which she entrusted Kara with protecting Kal-El. Krypton exploded as soon as Kara fled, but the explosion hurled a rock at her escape pod, and she had been in a deep sleep until recently. Years later, Kara has found her way to Earth, where baby Kal-El, aka Superman, is no longer a baby but a genuine superhero all grown up. Devastated by the loss of her home, Kara struggles to adjust to her new life on Earth, given the archaic technology Earth has in comparison to Krypton. She later witnesses Solomon Grundy wreaking havoc in Metropolis, so she hurries to the scene to stop him as Supergirl. Grundy knocks Supergirl down with a red laser gun, but it shortens. When Grundy overpowers Supergirl, Batman and Superman arrive and quickly make short work of him. After the fight, Batman talks to Superman and points out that Supergirl is becoming a problem because she is oblivious to the consequences of her fighting as she destroys buildings and fails to control her powers entirely. He fears that her lack of care, paired with her growing powers, makes her a threat to villains and the innocents alike. Kara overhears their conversation and flies in tears while Superman chases after her. Batman worries after finding a complex weapon powered by a red kryptonite in Grundy's possession. He firmly believes that Grundy couldn't have made it alone. Later that night, unknown operatives break into the highly secured facility of STR Labs. While they manage to take out the guards, Batman arrives just in time to beat them before the deed is done. He reports back to the Justice League as he has no clue what they were after when they captured operatives committed suicide when they got caught. Superman later finds Supergirl back in Smallville sulking about how Batman seemingly is ready to kick her off the planet. Although Superman understands her struggle to adjust to a new planet and her new powers, he tries to convince her Earth could be her new home. She explains that she feels like an outsider and doesn't belong anywhere. When words are no longer enough, Superman uses a time bubble to bring Supergirl to the future, to the Legion of Superheroes in the 31st century, to be exact. He explains that Saturn Girl, one of the founders of the Legion, gave Superman the device that allows him to travel at two fixed points in time. He describes the Legion as a group of heroes who banded together to fight crime after being inspired by Superman. They immediately contacted him after he formed the Justice League and have been in sporadic contact ever since. He suggests she undergo extensive training to become a Legionnaire here, hoping she would get better control of her powers. Mon-El shows up just in time to welcome Supergirl to the Academy. When Supergirl thought he was another Kryptonian survivor, he claimed he was from the planet Daxam. He explains that he loved Krypton so much that he decided to change his name. Mon-El offers to give Supergirl a tour of the place when she notices an obscure warehouse out of the corner of her eye. Mon-El stops her from getting too close and explains that it's the vault where the Legion stores the deadly weapons they have confiscated from the villains across several millennia. Suddenly, Dawnstar excitedly arrives to meet Supergirl, her new roommate, thrilled to have a new member whom she can finally pair up for training and missions. As they head to the classrooms, they bump into Brainiac 5, where Supergirl mistakes him to be his predecessor, Brainiac from 21st century Earth. Brainiac 5 claims to be the universe's only 12th level intellect. As Supergirl charges at him, Brainiac 5 deploys his force shield using kinetic reactive photonic energy, meaning the stronger the punch, the more solid it gets. Supergirl thought of breaking the ground and sending him off, flying into one of the buildings and interrupting a class. Brainiac is furious and attacks Supergirl with a deadly jolt of electricity that temporarily binds her. She breaks free by destroying his small red cubes with her heat vision. As they charge at each other, Timber Wolf, one of the Academy's teachers and an official Legionnaire, stops their fight. Supergirl and Brainiac 5 are then brought to the council room with the remaining Legionnaires left in charge of the Academy. Shadow Lass explains that Brainiac 5 is not Brainiac. He is a clone created by scientists on planet Kalu when they got their hands on organic parts of the original Brainiac cyborg. Timber Wolf got tired of them bickering, so they let them off on a warning, given that this was their first offense at the Academy. Once they returned to the dorms, Timber Wolf had his suspicions about why Saturn Girl allowed Brainiac 5 into the Academy. He explains that every Brainiac clone has always and ever gone evil. Meanwhile, Shadow Lass covers the room with her powers to prevent others from overhearing their conversation. She points their attention to the missing Legion, who lost all contact after confirming that they are dealing with a terrorist threat on planet Durla. Since then, they have had radio silence, and she can't even find them on the map, as if they disappeared from the face of the universe. Later, Supergirl meets the rest of the Academy members: Bouncing Boy, Invisible Boy, Triplicate Girl, Phantom Girl, Arms Fall Off Boy, and Proddy, the class pet. The class worries that they will be sidelined during their stay with the Legion, given that there is only one open Legion spot, and everyone believes Mon-El will get it. They later return to class with Chemical King, where Brainiac 5 and Supergirl's rivalry continues, irked at each other's existence. Chemical King points out that to become a Legionnaire, one must train the mind and asks the class to solve the hyperdrive equation. The course then shifts to physical training, where Supergirl takes the lead and steals the opponents away from Brainiac 5. They continue arguing even during drone-making class about who has conflicting ideas for the project. Supergirl feels bad and understands how Brainiac 5 must feel not belonging anywhere, just like she felt back in the 21st century. Meanwhile, Triplicate Girl is outside looking for their missing class pet Proddy when she sees Mon-El sneaking out and talking to strangers. Suddenly she finds herself surrounded and gets killed by masked assailants. Supergirl is outside practicing her apology to Brainiac 5 when she notices him sneaking out and acting suspicious, so she follows him. While arguing again, they later discover Triplicate Girl's dead body. Suddenly, Brainiac 5 gets captured by Shadow Lass while Timberwolf and Chemical King interrogate him. They explain that he planted a virus into their systems, hence why they haven't been able to contact the rest of the Legion. Chemical King adds that Brainiac 5 hacked into the system when no one voted for him to become part of the Academy. They suspect his agenda was to break into the vault and steal the weapons. Brainiac 5 admits hacking into the system but denies killing Triplicate Girl. He explains that this was the work of the Dark Circle, but they dismiss his claims and imprison him in the holding cells while they wait for the others to return. Supergirl doesn't sound convinced, so she decides to gather her facts. Supergirl later visits the training room to check the Legion's library for records on the Dark Circle. She later discovers that it is a group of fanatics with an unknown goal that appear from time to time to wreak havoc and provide weapons to known terrorist groups. Supergirl later talks with Brainiac 5 to get his story after realizing that she has seen the Dark Circle in the past and the future. He explains that a miracle machine was created by OA's godlike creators, allowing users to bend reality to their will. Over time, it has been used as a weapon of mass destruction before it came into the possession of the League. He overhears a conversation with his family, planning to break into the vault and steal said machine for the Circle's leader, so he decides to steal it before them. Instead of walking away, Supergirl breaks Brainiac 5 free and assists him in breaking into the vault and stealing it before the Dark Circle folks do. Mon-El later catches Supergirl and Brainiac 5 trying to sneak into the vault. He claims he heard the story from Timberwolf and the other as he was heading back to the dorms and wanted to help. Using Brainiac's tool, they quickly broke through the vault's laser grid security system and made their way inside, only to discover another puzzling security code they needed to clear. Brainiac 5 explains that they need to break the code in 30 seconds before the security drones attack and kill them. He later realizes that he needs more time to break the code as it keeps changing, so he asks Mon-El and Supergirl to delay the drones but not destroy them as it will trigger a room purge. When they finally break the code and reach the relic chamber, Mon-El reveals his true allegiance and stabs Supergirl with a Kryptonian dagger that seeps liquid kryptonite into her system. As Mon-El secured the miracle machine, the rest of the Dark Circle members captured the Academy's students and faculties and kept them in the holding cells. Mon-El explains that he aims to correct the world from the way it is now, where freaks and misfits delude themselves into thinking they could be superheroes just because they have superpowers. Meanwhile, the leader of the Dark Circle reveals to be none other than the original Brainiac, who was assumed to be dead in the 21st century after a kryptonite bullet destroyed his brain. Brainiac admits that the bullet significantly damaged his brain, but he claims there was enough left to rebuild what was already damaged. He reveals that he originally created the Dark Circle 1,000 years ago as a backup plan and that they stole his original body or whatever was left from STR Labs. He also reveals that Brainiac 5 overhearing the conversation about breaking into the vault was not a coincidence but was originally a plan to instigate him to break into the vault himself, given that he was the only being smart enough to break the security code. Upon closer inspection, Brainiac revealed that he absorbed the other clones to create the perfect body, hand-picking each clone's best parts. Fearing that Supergirl was the only one strong enough in this universe to stop him, he had her taken care of, thanks to Mon-El. Furious, Brainiac uses blinding light to escape and hide while they regroup. Brainiac 5 uses his tech to help Supergirl, who is dying from the liquid kryptonite in her system. He managed to save her just in the nick of time. When Dark Circle members were about to walk in on them, Phantom Girl pulled them through the wall. They later discover that Phantom Girl, Triplicate Girl, and Invisible Boy were able to evade capture as well. Brainiac has a plan, and for it to succeed, they would need the rest of the Academy members in captivity. With Dawnstar's powers, Brainiac 5 managed to find where the rest of the Legion was and sent an SOS message while they handled the enemy as they waited for their return. Supergirl and Brainiac 5 lure Mon-El into a trap where the other Academy members wait while they both stop Brainiac from completely synchronizing with the Miracle Machine. It turns out they were already too late, as Brainiac's will has started to change reality, where all his enemies fall on their knees along with those he considers a threat. Mon-El. Brainiac 5 tricks the other clones into thinking that they have surpassed Brainiac. Eventually, the clones he assimilated into his body try to dominate each other and take over the body until they tear Brainiac's body apart. Although Brainiac is dead, the Miracle Machine doesn't stop, so Supergirl tries to stop it when she realizes she can bring back Krypton with this power when she sees her mom. Brainiac 5 tries to reason with her that if she would, reality would continue to break. Although it tore her heart to pieces, unable to bring back her mom and her planet, she stands to reason and decides to turn the machine into a different reality and return everything to the way it was. With the Miracle Machine stopped working, the Academy members clear out the remaining Dark Circle members while Supergirl beats up Mon-El. With the fighting over and the enemies restrained, the rest of the League returns and finds nothing to do. Cosmic Boy was so amazed at how they handled the matter that he voted that they all become Legionnaires. Brainiac 5 tries to comfort Supergirl and promises to help continue researching the Miracle Machine so they can bring back Krypton and her mother. Supergirl was impressed, and they both shared a passionate kiss. In the post-credit scenes, Supergirl is seen talking to Superman about what happened through a time bubble and introduces Brainiac as her boyfriend. Superman cuts their conversation short, but not before showing how proud he is of her. Batman wonders why Superman never asked her to return to the 21st century, as they both are unsure of what's happening in the world as they stand on what looks like a dark circle burned to the ground. Suddenly, a beam of light hits them both, and they vanish without a trace, leaving what looks like a dark circle symbol etched in a fire on the ground where they were shot. The end. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.